GOP Senator Tom Cotton, everyone's favorite. What kind of Chinese are you, Senator?
Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm Singaporean.
Had a pop-off moment on Twitter that he doubled down on Fox News.
Tom Cotton of Arkansas suggesting Americans take matters into their own hands when it comes to pro-Palestinian protesters. Cotton's comments came after crowds of activists protesting the Israel-Hamas war blocked roads and shut down bridges. Take a look at what the senator said on Fox News.
I have to say, Sandra, I agree with you that you have to get to these criminals early.
Yeah, first he said protesters, and he had to stop himself to be like, these criminals, these Hamas-supporting criminals.
If something like this happened in Arkansas on a bridge there, let's just say I think there'd be a lot of very wet criminals that have been tossed overboard, not by law enforcement, but by the people whose road they're blocking. If they glued their hands to a car or the pavement, well, probably pretty painful to have their skin ripped off. But I think that's the way we'd handle it in Arkansas. And I would encourage most people anywhere that get stuck behind criminals like this who are trying to block traffic to take matters in their own hands. There's only usually a few of them, and there's a lot of people being inconvenienced. It's time to put an end to this nonsense. I sympathize with law enforcement having to deal with this, but I think it's time for private citizens who are the ones being inconvenienced here when they're confronted with these protesters just to solve matters on their own before the police even show up.
I'm thinking that's a little over the top.
It's beyond that. Cops would say, please don't do that. I doubt Senator Cotton is any more exasperated than I am when I see people doing this, blocking people who are going to work. There are ways to protest, and there's ways, I think, not to protest. And this is extraordinarily counterproductive to any cause that you're pushing.
Yeah, dude, it's just fucked up. It's fucked up, man. It's always fucked up. The best way to protest, everybody knows, is just sitting at home, okay, and not even tweeting about it, honestly. Just shutting the fuck up. Everybody knows. Everybody knows there's no good way to protest. Now, I don't agree with a sitting U.S. senator saying we should execute protesters, okay? But honestly, I get the energy because it is kind of fucking annoying. I got places to be. Okay? I got places to be. It's ironic, though, because it's like the reasons why people do this is not because they think like the dudes who are stuck in traffic are going to magically turn around and be like, well, now that I'm late to work, I'm definitely pro-Palestine. That's not the whole point. The point is to be like, hey, man, shit is really fucked up out there. I don't know if you're aware of it. Okay? It's supposed to make it to the news. And it's supposed to reaffirm the commitment that people who are aware of what the fuck's going on to be further emboldened to take action. It is one of 1,000 different ways that people do engage in meaningful protests. I was a Zionist before, not supporting the settlements, but just on Israel's right to exist. Watching your streams on the war has developed a much more pro-Palestine viewpoint for me. In whole conflict, I can see no practical solution with the current state of affairs. What do you think a solution could be like, and how would it come along? Also, what do you think about Israel's right to exist? I think Israel does not have a right to exist as a Judeo-supremacist apartheid regime. If there was a single secular state where all the Palestinian citizens that are currently occupied by Israel could have equal rights and representation that the Israeli citizens have, that would be the only way for this country to exist. I don't give a shit what it's called at that point. Ironic how this dude questioned the TikTok CEO about the Tiananmen Square massacre and acted like he cared about those protesters, but now he's calling for violence against these protesters? Yeah, exactly. Those tanks needed to go, Senator. Those tanks needed to keep moving, Senator. Shut the fuck up, Senator. They had to deal with them in any way they could. The whole point is so that people are more aware of what the fuck's going on. Any kind of media coverage on this protest end up basically playing into the hands of the protesters in general. Like, that's their goal. Their goal is to get people to talk and continue talking about it even if they're like, oh man, that shit is so fucking annoying that they're like blocking traffic. Isn't that a great way to, it's not the best way to do a protest. Then it calls into question why they are protesting. That's the goal of protests like this. Once you fulfill your journalistic duty and actually explain why they are protesting, a lot more people could basically make up their minds on whether it's a valid way to do it or not. Okay. And no, EMS doesn't get stuck behind a shit ton of cars in situations like this. These protests literally have that. They call that into account. They actually open up cordons specifically for emergency vehicles to get through. So you're not right about that at all. That would be ridiculous. They're like, yeah, sorry, you have to. Your diabetic uncle who's going into shock has to fucking die in the ambulance because Palestinians are dying is not the goal here. And they do actually open up the cordon specifically to let emergency vehicles through. They do it all the time.
We have a guy, Tom Cotton, that went to Harvard, undergrad and law school, served in the military, who's talking about throwing people off the Golden Gate Bridge, ripping their skin off. We had a United States senator going on a network, national network, suggesting that Americans rip skin off of people's hands. Because
I don't get why these guys don't just. I don't get why these guys don't just fucking I don't know, protest quietly in a fucking cornfield or something. Like why are they why are they just like shutting down places of commerce? It's fucked up. Genuinely. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Oh.
Are aggravated, and to take matters into their own hands. This is just beyond stupid on his part, beyond dangerous on his part to say this. And I must say, this goes. Tom Cotton, that used to be on this show pre-Trump, would never have said something like this. No. Never.
No.
Tom Cotton that we.
Yeah, Trump is the reason why Tom Cotton is a fucking fascist dickhead, dude. Great analysis. Thank you. Like, come on, bro. These guys are all the same barbaric monsters. They were a little bit more reserved, but like they still, this kind of shit is so dumb. It makes it seem like Trump is the single arbiter of the Republican Party and the entire fucking Republican Party is not morally bankrupt, devoid of humanity, ultimately corrupt, and violent, bloodthirsty monsters before Trump. Why are you running defense? Well, Joe Scarborough was a GOP state senator, if I'm remembering. He might have been a representative, but he was a congressperson for the Florida state as a Republican. So, you know, maybe that's why he thinks like, oh, pre-Trump, the Republican Party was different. It's not true, though. Okay? It's not. It is objectively not true. The Republican Party have always been openly bloodthirsty. It is so fucking stupid to be like, oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe what Trump did to the party. It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. By the way, yesterday, a video surfaced of a settler yelling at Palestinians, if there weren't leftists filming me here, I would kill you. Earlier today, Ben-Gvir literally opened a new police force to prevent leftists and activists from entering the West Bank. It's impressive how quick with it they are when they get new suggestions to make things worse for Palestinians. Lol. Yep. Guys, before Donald Trump, the Republican Party would only fucking, say the quiet part out loud behind closed doors. They would, of course, still very consistently and very famously openly advocate for the same violent policies. But, like, you know, they would just say the quiet part out loud in private. So I don't really understand why this wonderful man, Tom Cotton, has become such a violent guy.
Interviewed time and again on this show, would have never said anything like this. This shows.
Leftists, okay, let's not go crazy. Those aren't leftists. Wait, what? Yes, they are. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. Israeli fucking activists that literally saved the lives of Palestinians in the West Bank are every bit the fucking leftists that you wish you were. Get the fuck out of here, dude. That's insane, okay? That's insane. Those guys are literally putting their lives on the line in many instances. They're brave as hell. How dare you? That's insane, dude. Those are fucking brave boys, girls, men, and women that go out to the fucking West Bank and defend the lives of Palestinians against settler violence by literally putting their fucking bodies on the line. Okay? Come on. The four of them are very brave. No, it's more than that. That's ridiculous. That actually is ridiculous. That's like, come on, guys. It's crazy.
How violence and violent rhetoric has become normal practice in the Republican Party. These are the people who are preparing for a guy who has promised to be a dictator from day one.
People like Tom Cotton call Muslims terrorists and then proceeded to actually promote terror himself. So ironic. Yeah, but you don't understand. Tom Cotton is a white American Christian. So he's obviously not a terrorist. He's a freedom fighter. It's very different. You understand? Like, that's very different. See, you guys don't understand. It's the terrorism is when you don't do anything, but you're just like Muslim or brown, Muslim adjacent. When you're a white Christian guy and you're like, let's murder every protester, then you're not actually inciting terror at all. As a matter of fact, as a sitting senator,
Rip their skin off.
They're brave
But it gets
patriot.
to a lot. Eddie Glaude and I were talking just prior to coming out here. There was a poll. As a matter of fact, I have the numbers. There's a poll taken. I was just looking at it yesterday. 1/3, 34% of Americans would like to go and settle in another country if they were free to do so. Half of Americans, 51% of those under the age of 35, want to resettle elsewhere, as do 39% of those 35 to 54 years of age. Why is this happening? It's happening because people like Tom Cotton and people like the guy who is in trial today, downtown Manhattan, they continually run this country down, that there's something wrong with this country, that there's something going on in this country that is against you and me, average citizens. They've done this. They've roiled the pot in this country to a point where the anger, the unspoken anger of people, the unearned anger of people has disrupted.
Yeah, that orange man, I hate him. I hate him so much. Yeah. Anyone that says they miss the old Republican Party is a fucking deluded asshole, okay? The old Republican Party was just as monstrous as the new Republican Party. The new Republican Party is the same. Donald Trump is not a man with his own perspective, with his own framework, okay? He simply is a room reader. The only reason why Donald Trump was so successful was because he read the room very well and was like, well, this is what people want to hear, so I'm just going to say them that. Obviously, he's personally racist and yada, yada. He doesn't give a shit about the genuine fascists that he's emboldening. He's racist enough not to care. But it is so funny to think that, like, the old Republican Party is very different. No, it's not, okay? And I don't know why our favorite liberal in the chat goes, bro, Mitt Romney went down for binders full of women, is such a ridiculous. I'm more of a libtard than you, okay? This is ridiculous analysis from our libtard who wants to fucking run defense without recognizing for the Republican Party. I am literally a bigger libtard than you, okay? Put your fucking Democratic Party loyalist card at the front door, okay? You're done. You're cut out of the conversation. I am fucking suckling on Nancy Pelosi's titties. You are not. I'm sick and tired of this shit. What is this? I'm the real libtard, not you. You're like, oh, some Republicans are good. No. No, they are not. Okay? God damn. I'm not saying any of them are good. I'm saying they somehow got worse and bolder. Yeah, they did. You want to know why they got worse and bolder? Not because of Donald Trump. Because reactionaries, if they don't have something to react against, okay, will turn around and try to dial back history and regress. And when the Democratic Party doesn't give them something to fight against, which the Democratic Party consistently has refused to do so, they end up successfully, regressing on civil liberties that we took for granted. Hey, what is that? What is that? Calm down now. Trump is a reflection of the Republican sentiment. That's it. Oh, she's pressing buttons. Calm down. No. Anyway, guys, love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.